Hello everyone, this is InfernalFirefly here. Today I'll be bringing you a tour of my pumpkin pie factory. After we go through the tour, we'll also be doing a little tutorial so I can show you how it's made. To get there, we walk down a pumpkin alley here, right to the entrance, which is this beautiful pumpkin pie pixel art here on a nice white plate. Walk into this beautiful entryway to the factory. See, we got Pete. Hey Pete, how things going over here? Good. And Frank out the controls. Frank does most of the work there. As you saw, he just tried to activate the farm there. And when the farm actually starts activating, these lights will light up, and that's when the workers back there start doing the collecting. And after they're done that, we get the pumpkins here, the eggs here, and the sugarcane here. And all we got to do is collect out what we want, go to the crafting bench here, make our sugar, and just stack them up and make ourselves some delicious pumpkin pie. Yum, yum, yum. But can't see much of what's going on right here with Frank and Pete. They are working hard, but they're not everything in this factory, so we'll have to go to the back here and show you around just a little bit. Come back here and see these guys hard at work. We got the foremans and the laborers here. And this is the pumpkin pie side. Just walk around. Oh, gotta be careful, you gotta stay outside of the orange lines here. We don't want to get electrocuted. All this electrical power running through here. If we creep up here on the stairs here, we can peek through and see some of the pumpkin pies, or the pumpkins that are growing in there. Then we got the eggs up here. Well, they're not doing a very good job harvesting the eggs. They're letting them fly out everywhere. But these guys are collecting the eggs, bringing them down there. Then we walk through to this side. We've got all these workers in here. They must be having a little meeting here. Ooh, this guy must be in trouble, the foreman's right with him. We can look in here and see our sugar cane. This is where we grow that. And then we come around here. Ooh, another little meeting here. A lot of people acting up today. We walk out here, and that's the whole tour of the factory. But we might as well show you it in operation here. Get out of the way. They've got if Frank out there isn't doing his job, not collecting fast enough, we've got this button to activate it. And that'll start collecting. We can run out here, see what's going on. You can see that our lights have lit up. And we should be collecting pumpkins. Yep, collecting pumpkins there. Collecting some sugar cane over here. And the eggs are pretty much always being gathered. But that's the pumpkin pie factory. Oh, and there we go. Gathering's over. And they'll let it build back up before they gather it again. But we'll go outside of here, and we'll give you a little better explanation of how this thing's working. So this is basically the same setup that we got over there in the factory. We got our pumpkins growing over here, we got our eggs collecting here, and we got our sugar cane collecting over here. We got our villager working at the controls here. I'll just do a quick flyover. This is what the pumpkins look like, what they're growing in. We just got some chickens up here on top of a hopper, collecting the eggs. They drop them. And then we got the sugar cane here all set up to be harvested too high, and then keep these at the bottom so it can continue to grow afterwards. But this is how the villagers power this farm. We've got a pressure plate here, and it's hooked up to a randomizer. I believe I saw this on Etho's channel along with a hopper clock that I've got over here, but I'll explain that in a minute. So we've got 9 items in here. 8 of them are stackable by 64. As you saw, he just sent up 1. And then we got the sword here, which is only stackable by 1. The way the comparator works off of the hopper has 5 slots. So with every slot here, it can send out, with what it's got in there, it can send out a redstone signal. Because there's 5 slots, and redstone can only go 15 blocks in distance, when the sword gets in there, it's 1/5 of that. So it sends out 3 redstone, or a distance of 3 redstone blocks. And when the other blocks come in here, they only send out 1, as we just saw there, because they're stackable by 64, and they don't divide into 15 the same way that the 1 does. So when the sword goes up in there, it goes to 3 blocks, activates into this repeater, sends power down into here. From here, it sends power around through this block and locks this repeater here. It also sends power out through here to raise these pistons, and that will break the pumpkins and that holds them up so that the water level will be at actually the top of the pumpkins here and flow down and collect into the hopper. After that, as that's happening, we got a redstone signal that comes up here and reverses this redstone torch. We've got a delay of just 4 ticks on here so that the pumpkins have time to raise up and break before the water flows down and starts collecting them. Now, as all that's going on, this piston clock will start, or not piston, excuse me, hopper clock will start here. And I've got 48 blocks inside of that, which is just enough time for the block furthest in the back here. Anything that lands way back here, it takes a little bit longer to get out of this 1 block area because the water's falling directly on it. It'll still flow forward, but it takes about 20 to 25 seconds for it to reach the end, whereas everything else will immediately start flowing to the end. But that turns on as soon as power comes through here, or turns off here and turns on the water, and it starts to flow down. It'll turn on this torch, which will turn off this torch, which will depower this line right here to allow the hoppers to become activated. As well as all this going on, when power comes through here, it'll go through this comparator. Now this light being off will allow power to flow through this comparator in the subtraction mode, and it'll power all these repeaters here, and it'll hold power in them. And once the timer runs out, it'll pull this piston back, pulling the block just for a tick back and forth, killing the power in this circuit and letting everything depower. So first thing that'll happen is the power will turn off up here, turning on the power to activate the pistons again and stopping the water. Now I don't want the water and these pistons to pull down at the same time because the water will wash out, destroying these stems. So what happens is power will reactivate here, and with this comparator in the subtraction mode, it'll turn off, even though there's still power held on this side, it'll turn off power exiting. So this delay here will hold power on the circuit, pushing the pistons up until it reaches the end here. I got 7 repeaters here on 4 ticks, which is just enough time for the water to dissipate before it pulls down. Got the chickens, like I said, just gathering the eggs here, and off of the end of this power, we send this around here and up onto these top blocks to power these sets of pistons here, which pushes these blocks out, breaking the sugarcane and letting it fall into the water flow here and collect in the hopper. Now I did this instead of just with pistons flush up against, I did it with blocks because I found that with just using the pistons, I lose more of the sugarcane popping up and out of the farm instead of being actually pushed into the center and falling straight down. Oops. So it's like randomized, so it's a 1 in 9 chance as he's walking back and forth over this. But I'll just flip this switch and show you how this works real quick. You can see that the power came in, got held, goes through here, and it's locked to this repeater here. These have filled up and is waiting for the power to come back on up here. Our water's flowing, it's pushed all our pumpkins off as our hopper clock's counting down. Now that all the pumpkins have drained, the water will turn off. Right as it dissipates, it'll pull down so it didn't flood out our melon stems there. And over here, so we get a little bit of loss in this farm. Let's see how many we lost here. 10. Yeah, setting these up is hard to make it so you can gather everything with a reed farm like this, but we get a majority of it. But some of you may be wondering what happens if he stands on, like he is now, standing on it, holding this block inside of here. If he stands on it the whole time that the farm is running, I was worried that it may damage the farm. But the way I've got it set up here is I'll just flip it, keep power constantly on. Now the hopper clock has started here, and we'll just watch it here for it to pull back. But with power still on here holding the circuit, everything stays just as it is until he were to step off of the pressure plate. And then once the hopper clock goes back through again, see, as you can see here, held everything. And we'll say that he stepped off the pressure plate. We'll just watch the water here. It just started over another cycle to count down. And once the hopper clock's done there, it'll kill power by pulling that back again. See that? Runs around there as it's letting the water dissipate, falls back down, and the farm is saved. Everything still operates greatly, so you'll be able to walk around, work, and have confidence that this will be collecting enough food for you. So every time you want to walk up here, and just grab out the items that you need to make some pumpkin pie. So now what I'm going to do is go through and show you how to make these different sections of the farm. To start with the pumpkin section of the farm here, you lay it a 2x8 section of raised blocks. It can be any style block. I just like using the stone brick here. And facing upwards, you lay sticky pistons along that whole way, and then dirt on top of that, all the way across here. That's where the pumpkins will grow. Now you want the spot for the seeds to be planted, so you put out dirt along the edges of that. And underneath it here, before you block it off, you're going to want to run repeaters with no tick, no extra tick added along the edge with redstone connecting them. Now, if you try to put anything like this to power it or just straight across, it's going to catch the power through these blocks and it's going to keep it activated all the time. So you just have to raise up this block by one and send the redstone over it with power going into these blocks so that it doesn't retain power and kills it, brings the pistons down when you want it. So you just run these repeaters and redstone along both sides here. And for the water, you only need it, you can have it on either one of these side of the blocks because it will water like a 4x4 or 4 blocks going out in any direction. So all you need to do is set up a little retainer for your water on each side like that. And just fill it with water. Same for the other side. Now that'll allow this section here to stay hydrated. And what I like to do next is I will hoe here. And what else do I need? We're done with the dirt. So you need glass blocks. And glass blocks are so that the lighting behind here can shine through and just make sure that you're getting light on top. Whoop. See, look at that. You just activated the farm right as we were standing in it. Also, this will be so light will get on your stems and make sure that they grow. So the first thing you want to do is just put that across there. And we didn't need that. And lay your glowstone or pumpkin, or you can even put torches inside of here. I just like to use the glowstone and put it along the back side. Like so. And then get your glass blocks over top of it. So that when the pistons push up, it'll allow light in to keep you growing, and it'll hold the water out. When these pistons push up, it'll go up one block so that the water can't drain down into there. And we'll put our pumpkin seeds in here. You can grow them with the bone meal or just let them naturally grow. And then for the back side here, just want to fill this in. We want to be up this high so that when it raises up, we'll have the water held back here so it'll spill over, and when the pumpkins are broken and the dirt's sitting up here, it'll flow the full 8 blocks. So we'll get our regular pistons. We don't need sticky for this. Just set them like that, and then make another retainer for the water, like so. And we'll wait to put water in there because we want to activate the pistons there. So we'll put this ring around here just like that, with repeaters going into it with a 4-tick delay on both the repeaters. And redstone laid out like that. Oops. And then you're going to want, what am I doing here? You're going to want a block up like that, just off one with a redstone torch sitting on it, like so. So you can activate these pistons up here to retain the water. Whoops. Not doing very well with the mouse right now. And that's how you build the pumpkin side of this farm. Now I'll just I'm going to switch out so I can show you that it's working here. Doesn't matter really where we do it, but we can do it right here. Power's going to be coming in. We'll lift up, and it'll push the pumpkins up and break them, and then we'll have it so this comes through and releases the water, brings it down here where you'll have your hoppers waiting to collect the stuff and bring it down into a chest. So now that we're done with this, we'll come over here and show you the wiring for the rear section to power the whole thing. So for the wiring of the rear of the pumpkin farm here that will power the entire farm, first build this 2x6 platform, and you want to build it off of the end of the redstone on either side, so it'll line up right here, and you're going to want it to be off of the redstone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks away, and then start your 2x6 block here. And now you're going to want to build just like this here, ethos piston or hopper clock. I keep saying that wrong. So in the center here, you're going to want to have a hopper there, have them facing each other. So you have to break it, put one down, break it, put it together so they're connected like that. Then you're going to want a comparator coming off of either side, blocks on either end, redstone here and here, sticky piston facing each other, and then a redstone block there. And that's how you make the clock. And then we'll add our 48 blocks shortly here. So the next step is we're going to want to be able to harvest the power coming off here, the pulse that's going to generate. So we build it just like that. Have the blocks coming off there and up too, so we can send the power up around. And then we will lay a repeater here and bring redstone around so that when this moves, it'll give it a one tick pulse so it doesn't keep power on this all the time. So we'll be able to power our piston, which will sit right here. It'll extend, put a block on there. And then we want to put redstone here and repeaters facing in this direction. One towards the block, one side by side the opposite way, and then one facing this way. And then we'll run our redstone. Move that, put this right here. We want 2 redstone into a repeater with no tick into this to power this whole section right here. And then we're going to want to bring power from here up to this area here. So we'll put our redstone torch. Oops. Put our redstone torch here. Power our water up here. And then we want to bring the power down just like this. So we'll do stone slabs and step it down to save space. We'll bring it down to a block right next to here that'll have redstone wire, so it'll run itself up. So we'll have a block there, 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 and right here. So now we'll run the redstone up, and that'll, when the farm is turned on, it'll turn this off and run the power for everything. So the next step, now that we have this done, so we've got where our power comes in, it's sent to activate our farm, it pushes the pistons up, it turns the water on, and it activates, well, our clock is running here. We haven't set up to activate it yet. So what we're going to want to do is put a torch on the opposite end of our water circuit up here. Have a block 2 underneath of that with a redstone dust on top and a torch underneath of that. And then here we will have a comparator facing back towards our hopper clock with 3 repeaters going this way and 4 repeaters coming back, all set 4 ticks. Go through and set all those. We want to make sure that our comparator has the red light on instead of negative. And then we can run our power out of there. That gets turned on by that torch there. Through here, and you have to make sure you add this redstone here to connect the repeater line. But if we do that, if we put just redstone right here, it'll tie in. So we got either, you can lower the block starting here and dip underneath, but it's just easier to put a repeater so it doesn't interfere there, and a repeater here so it won't interfere with this redstone. We'll bring that back around this way so that we can lock our hopper clock here. Just lay out your stones like so. Here, one right adjacent to the hopper, and then on top. We'll run power up to the top of this, and now our hopper's locked, so we're able to add our 48. We want 46 here, and 2 on the opposite side. And I believe the wiring's done. That's all you need for the wiring of this. And now I've got this set up here. We'll put the water, put some water up on top here and make sure it works. I've got 2 pumpkins there. So we'll set the water up like so. We'll have our power coming in as if Frank, our villager, has activated it. Turn it on and off. See here, our pistons got pushed up. I've just got it dumping into nowhere. I don't have it set up with the hopper, but our pistons got pushed up. Our water started to flow. And our piston clock should be, or our hopper clock, I keep saying piston. Our hopper clock should be running right now. There we go, it activated it, shut the water off. Gives it enough time to dissipate. And saves our stems from breaking. So I'll just zoom, I'll just do a little fly around here. Give you one last look at the wiring. In case you've missed anything. Just so you'll get a good 360 view of what everything looks like. Alright, and now we'll move on to building the sugarcane section of the farm. To build the sugarcane section of the farm, first you'll lay out a block space of 3 by 8, and then you'll run sand, because sugarcane grows the fastest on sand, and you'll run 8 and 8, leaving the center open. Add blocks right here, and add the water, so that we're able to plant the sugarcane. That'll run the full 8 blocks, and when it's collected, it'll fall into this flowing water stream and empty down into your hopper, which we can put one right there, so you can see what that looks like. Hopper, beautiful. We'll plant our sugarcane along here, and our retaining blocks. Run those 360 all the way around here. Not 360. We'll leave the face open. And then our first set of pistons are going to go here. But we need to set one more space back, because we're going to use sticky pistons with a block pushing them. So we need to leave that space for the block. So we'll lay our 8 pistons out, just like that, with two stacks of them on both sides. Like so. And then cover the face of them with the stone brick. And I've put 9 down. We don't need those. This is what will be used to push out and harvest the sugarcane here. And then to power those, all you got to do is run blocks across the top of the pistons there, and that'll, with just redstone dust on these, it'll be enough to power both sets of pistons. Drop it down 1 layer. You can run this around like this. I like to block off the back like this so that we don't lose any of the sugarcane shooting out the back, hopefully. But we'll run our redstone powder across the top of the pistons like that. 8 spaces. We'll put a repeater at the end of the blocks like so. And then connect those in the middle, and then you can have your power coming off of this any way you like. Just have it step down to the ground so that you can run it back around and meet up with the power coming off of here for your piston pushers for your pumpkins. Or you can hook it up any other way that you'd like, but that's how I've got it hooked up here. I've got this coming around like that, hooked with power, step down, run around, and hooked up there. Now, sugarcane also needs light to grow. So I like to put glowstone or our pumpkins or our jack-o'-lanterns up like that. And then glass again on the top, like so, to try to retain any of the sugarcane from popping out of the farm, popping over the top. And I believe we're done with that. All we gotta do is put a... Started to rain. Beautiful. Put a switch down. It activates that. It'll close all of these pistons, pushing our sugarcane into the center of the farm to flow down into our hopper. That's how you build that. So next we'll move on to the randomizer. And lastly, to build our villager automated randomizer, start with a layout like this. You don't have to use half slabs. You can use full blocks stacked up double, because we'll just want to retain the villager or chicken or whatever you want to use in here. But in the center, you'll have a pressure plate with one string of randstone coming off there. You can extend this as far as you'd like to go somewhere else to have the randomizer. That doesn't matter. But I like to set it up like this with a dropper facing upwards and a hopper directly on top of that. Off of there, you'll have two blocks coming off with a comparator facing away. Redstone coming off of there like so with two redstones, and then a repeater to extend your signal so you can send it off to the power entry into the electrical system, which would be right here at this repeater, as I have set up like so. Here I just like to block it in so that the villager can't escape. And then we can drop our villager inside of here. He will walk back and forth and activate this. Now to set up the randomizer, just come in to your inventory or whatever you have, and you need 8 different style blocks. I'm having a hard time pushing my buttons here. 8 different style blocks, and then one item that's only stackable by one. It can be any piece of armor, as none of them stack. So we'll be able to put our armor in, and then one of each style block into the randomizer. And this will give you, like I said, a 1 in 9 chance. You can also make your odds better by putting other items in here. So you'll have this would be what, a 3 in 9 chance, or 1/3 chance of getting it. Now you see, as he walks over the plate, it sends up one of the items into the hopper and pulls it back down, and only sends out one redstone signal over here. Now if any of these items were to be pulled up into there, it would send the signal through to the repeater to send it to our power input. That's all you need to build the randomizer that the villager is able to power. And that is our whole farm. Lastly, if you'd like, I added this here. It's just a button. It sends around here to this side to send power into our machine, so that if our villager isn't working hard enough for us, we can just select this button and it'll activate the machine and start getting everything flowing. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this helps for the tutorial. I know I've used different bits and pieces from different machines that I've seen throughout YouTube for melon factories, for sugarcane factories, and different pieces for the automation, such as the randomizer and the hopper clock. But I've put it all together to make this very convenient pumpkin pie farm. So you'll be able to just go through here, take the supplies you need, maybe have a crafting table in the center there, and you'll be able to have all the pumpkin pie you want. But I really appreciate you all watching. Thank you so much. This has been InfernalFirefly, and I hope to talk to you again soon.